Financial tech and predatory lending companies charge exorbitant interest rates that would be illegal for a bank. Uber puts unlicensed drivers on city streets. Cryptocurrency companies trade in unregistered securities. When regulators complain, these companies all say the same thing. We're just an app. This loophole, claiming that technology excerpts them from the law, is one of the main reasons platforms get worse over time. Hi, and welcome to another video in a series on the book Enshittification by Cory Doctorow. In this video, we're going to be looking at worker and user exploitation by app, or how big tech uses apps to skirt labor laws. Enshittification comes from government allowing apps to control business and employees. I just mentioned a couple of examples. Lending companies regularly break usury laws. Cryptocurrency companies perform illegal trades on unregistered securities. Uber moves into taxi markets without a license. Financial tech companies evade usury laws by claiming they aren't lenders. Uber reclassifies workers to avoid labor regulations. In each case, technology isn't the innovation, regulatory arbitrage is. And it's not just the users who suffer from the tech abuses. In some cases, it's even worse for their employees. The labor economist Vina Dubal termed what the big tech companies do to their employees algorithmic wage discrimination. For example, Uber divides its drivers into two groups, ants and pickers. Ants will take any new delivery job that becomes available, while pickers try to choose jobs that pay more. When a picker chooses a job, they get a higher rate than an ant would get, but the next time a job is offered to a picker, it will be at a lower rate. These rates just keep very minutely going down without the drivers noticing it. The algorithm that drives the decision on what rate is paid is randomized in order to make it less likely for drivers to discern any pattern, yet there's a very clear move towards lowering pay rates. This would be very hard for humans to do because humans can't move as quickly or as tirelessly as a computer algorithm can. Facebook does much the same thing with publishers. In order to get publishers to post more and more and longer excerpts on their feed, Facebook will gin up the number of posts from the publisher they allow users to see, thus inducing demand, which prompts the publisher to post more and longer excerpts. Employers have long tried to depress the wages of their workers, but it was so much harder to do when humans were in control. A computer running an algorithm can run continuously without tiring, and at such great speed, users aren't able to notice the changes that are being made. Another step in enshittification is big tech creating what are called reverse centaurs. A centaur, according to automation theory, is a human that is combined with a tool that allows the human to perform work that they could not perform without the tool. An example is a radiologist who uses an AI system to help them find small anomalies that their eye would miss. Without the AI system, they wouldn't see the anomaly and it would go by. Big tech has turned many of its workers into what Doctorow calls reverse centaurs. A reverse centaur is a worker who is so overworked by the computer system that guides their work that they become almost subhuman. Two of the best examples of reverse centaurs are Amazon factory workers and Amazon delivery drivers. In both cases, these workers are kept to such a tight schedule that they don't have time to eat or go to the bathroom. Factory workers skip meals and drinks so that they won't have to go to the bathroom, and delivery drivers are often forced to pee in a bottle so they don't have to stop their delivery van and go to the bathroom. Another way big tech exploits workers is through chickenization. Doctorow states that this term came from the chicken processing industry and how the processors treat their chicken farmers. Chicken farmers are forced to go into great debt to purchase the building and equipment they need to raise chickens, and they purchase this from the chicken processors. And then the chicken processors give them very strict guidelines on how to raise the chickens. Any misstep along the way, The processor can cut off business to the farmer, but the farmer is still in debt for whatever equipment and buildings that they purchased. Amazon Delivery Service Partners, DSPs, or really the delivery vans that you see out on the road, have also been chickenized by Amazon. The DSP has to buy their own van that must be equipped with the proper sensors so that Amazon can monitor their work. Any slip-ups in delivery schedules can lead to Amazon cutting off the DSP from working with Amazon, leaving them with a huge loan on a van that is only useful for Amazon deliveries. Another way Amazon chickenizes their DSPs is by luring new companies to start delivering in a particular area, and then once Amazon determines how many DSPs are actually needed to service that area, they simply end their relationship with the unneeded DSP, leaving that company with a load of debt that they probably cannot offload. So how do we stop this? First, the government needs to stop giving special privileges to big tech companies that work by algorithm and apps and require them to follow the same regulations that other companies must follow. Second, big tech workers need to organize in order to fight for better working conditions. Unionization will go a long way to keeping the big tech firms in check. Finally, the government needs to strengthen its resolve to go after the big tech companies and their monopoly. Regardless of the political party in power, working to enforce the country's antitrust laws should be a primary focus. An anti-competition mindset is required for enshittification, and forcing big tech companies to live with increased competition will disincentivize most big tech firms. So up next in our exposition on enshittification is owning and repairing is outlawed. What that means is that if you dive into the user service agreements that you usually have to sign, or at least check that you've agreed to when buying a product or service from a big tech company, there'll be stipulations in there that mostly prohibit you from modifying the product or fixing it if the product is broken. This kind of anti-break and fix really leads to much higher enshittification because the company realizes that they don't have to do anything to make their product better, and they know that you can't make it better yourself. So they can just leave things like they are, and if you try to fix it or if you try to modify it, there are criminal penalties involved that are quite extensive. So thanks a lot for watching the video. If you're enjoying these videos on tech and society and these reviews of books, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.